to Knitting Needles and Stems. I'm Carrie, I'm the host, and today is Sunday, August 24th, 2025. Today we're going to talk about works in progress, finished objects, knit-alongs, my patterns, and gardening. So before we get started, I just want to say thank you to the people who have come to watch this video. And if this is your first video, make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll just keep making the videos. And if you are coming back, thank you very much for coming back and watching again. I do have a Ravelry group. It's called Knitting Needles and Stems. Please come over there and join, and we can discuss the videos. Each episode has its own thread where you can come and make comments or whatever it is you want to do over there. I also have a Patreon. The best way for you to help support me is by liking and sharing this video, the video and the podcast itself, and encouraging your friends to subscribe. Another way would be on Patreon. You can become a paid member for $1, $3, or $5 if you're so inclined to do that. So the Patreon link is in the show notes and underneath the video here. And I have a Facebook page if you want to come over there. I share some fun memes and do different things over in the Facebook group too. So that link is also in the show notes below. What's new? I gifted the pineapple slice socks that I talked about in the last episode. The recipient really liked the socks, as did the rest of her family, and I actually had one lady request to order a pair of socks for me because her socks are too tight around her legs. I don't know that just a regular pair of hand knit socks would be any looser, but it was a nice thought for her to want to buy some socks. I don't think I'll be making them for her to buy because they'd be way too expensive for one pair of socks. So another thing that's coming up is Wisconsin Sheep and Wool. That is September 5th through the 7th. That's the weekend I'm supposed to record, so that might put a hold on my recording schedule. It might not, so we'll see. We'll see if I can find time that weekend to actually record. But I am actually heading down to Jefferson, Wisconsin. That's where the festival is, on the Thursday before, and I will be staying Thursday night and Friday night and leaving on Saturday. If any of you are going to be at that festival, I would love to meet up with you. So you can just drop a line here, or you can email me at this email address right here, or come to the Ravelry group and post, or just get a hold of me somehow, and I would love to meet up with you. And things are going to look a little different now with the podcast because I'm back to using my project calendar. Now, what is a project calendar, you might be wondering. I have a Google Sheet where I have a calendar, and it tells me what to work on each day so that I can make sure that all of my works in progress are being worked on. That means there will be more works in progress shown and less finished objects, because when I'm alternating the works in progress that I work on, they don't get worked on quite as much as if I'm working on them every day, and then they don't get finished quite as fast. So I have certain days I work on certain things, and on Mondays I always work on my bears. On Tuesdays I do my counted cross stitch, and on Wednesdays I work on my project a month project, and then pretty much the other 4 days of the week are, well, really the other 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday are free to work on whatever, but Sundays I usually like to keep to the side for me to work on my patterns for releasing my own patterns. So, with all that being said, let's jump right into works in progress. And the first thing that I've been working on is my Fish Lips Kiss Heel socks for Reagan. These are in the Knit Picks Felici yarn in their Beach Cruiser colorway. I've been taking these with me everywhere. They went to my sister-in-law's grand opening of her bar and grill, and they went to the bar with me this last weekend where I cast off the first sock. I bound it off. So for the foot, I just did a plain vanilla sock, the Fish Lips Kiss heel here. And then for the leg, because she wanted it not to be tight, I did a 2x2 rib for the leg. And I bound it off. And I brought it home for her to try it on. And she tried it on and asked me to make it 4 inches longer than it is. So I should have had her try it on before I actually cut the yarn. But it is what it is. I'll add 4 inches and refinish this first sock. But I do have the second sock here. I've started on the leg of the second sock with the ribbing. The foot and the heel are done. And I've started on the ribbing here. So again, this is the Fish Lips Kiss heel, and that is by Socks Therapist. And the yarn is Knit Picks Felici in the Beach Cruiser colorway. The next thing that I've been working on is a series of hats for the local alpaca farm. The owner likes to have some handmade items in there for sale. She also has commercially made items that are in there. She has hats and sweaters and scarves and all kinds of beautiful alpaca things. But the hats that she asked me to make are the Simple Cable Beanie by Marin Ni Donka. And this is hat number 2 of the 8 that she's going to have me make for them. She picked out a bunch of different colors for me to use. And this is this. I showed you the first hat in the last episode. This is the second hat, which these colors are so pretty. Look at that. A nice girly hat here, and I have it inside out. Look at that. All right, here we go. You can see the cables really well in this hat. So, oh no, this isn't the second one. This is the third one. So this is the third out of 8. And this is the second colorway. I'll be using the same striping pattern here for the next one in these colors too. There will be 2 in each of the sets of colors. But I'm going to see if she would want me to do thinner stripes at the top. So I'll have the brim in one color, the cables in the solid color, and then do like maybe a 2-row stripe for the rest of the hat all the way up. So we'll see what she says. Again, this is the Simple Cable Beanie by Marin Ni Donka, and this is hat number 3 of 8. Okay, the next thing that I've been working on, I think I talked about this in the last episode. It is the Coziest Memory by Kemper Ray. This is a blanket that I decided I needed to use up the sock yarn as I finished using or knitting with the sock yarn. So for this one, I'm just using leftovers from all the socks that I'm making. So we have here, this is from the Pineapple Slice socks. This was from my daughter's school socks, the Fish Lips Kiss heel, and I don't remember the name of that sock, but I'll put it in the show notes. This was from my green socks with the Fish Lips Kiss heel, and this color that I'm working on now is actually from the olive juice socks that I made for all of the family with the Felici from Knit Picks. And this, I'll probably make a couple of squares with this yarn because they're going to look different because of the wide stripes on the socks. Each square will look a little different. So I might do just a few of those before adding a different square. So again, that is the Coziest Memory by Kemper Ray using my sock leftovers. And the next thing is my Frigo by Christian Burkhardt. This one was from using the leftovers from my daughter's socks, my daughter's Fish Lips Kiss heel socks. This is the T&H Fiberworks Glitz Sock BFL. Hold on, my yarn is not cooperating with me here. The Glitz Sock BFL Silk Blend in Eowyn. And then the Let Me Spin You a Yarn that I picked up at the festival a few weekends ago. Now, Let Me Spin You a Yarn, Silk Mohair, and Ballerina Pink. And I have finished one fingerless mitt here. And I made it long enough so that when she's wearing it and waiting for the bus, if her hands get cold, she can squinch her fingers and it'll come up over her fingers so that they'll stay nice and warm. And these are so soft with that mohair. Oh my goodness. And I barely have cast on the second one here. I haven't even joined it to work in the round yet. So again, that's Free Go by Christian Burkhard using T&H Fiberworks Glitz Sock BFL Silk Blend in Eowyn. And the Let Me Spin You a Yarn, Silk Mohair, and Ballerina Pink. Okay, next, I told you there's a lot of works in progress this time. So this is number 5 is my Square Bear by Yarnspirations Knit Studio. This one is for the New Life Resource Center here in town is where I decided I'm going to donate my bears. And it's called a square bear, but it's actually made out of slight sort of rectangles. Here is the first side. I'm working my way through all of the patterns that we have in the bears group. So this is made with some sparkly Lion brand mini little tiny balls of yarn. I'll show you what they look like here. These little tiny balls of yarn, there were 6 of them. I won, one of my bears was drawn for the winner of last month's bear knit along, the literary bears. And this was part of what the host of that knit along sent to me, were these little minis. And they come in a little packet. There were 8 in the packet, so I decided I had to use them for bears. I just had to. So this is the first side of the Square Bear. This is the Square Bear by Yarnspirations Design Studio. And you can see this is where the bear face is going to be. This is the body. I started on the second side of the body, and it will look just like the first side. And then you sew the 2 sides together, make some arms and legs, and there's your Square Bear. So again, that is, and the theme for August is stripes. I'm not sure if this guy will be done in August, but a kid's gonna love him whether he's done in August or not. So that is Square Bear by Yarnspirations Design Studio. Then for Bingo in the Craft Cook Read Repeat podcast group, one of the squares was to repair something. And I had a sweater. This is the Riverside by Asita Krebs that I made back in 2018. Now, I wear the sweater some, not a lot, because it was too long. It was more like a dress than a sweater. And this one was made out of leftovers. So it's a nice striped sweater. And I took out about 5 inches. This is actually one of the colors that I took out. I'm going to put 20 rows of the ribbing and then bind off, and then it will be something that I will actually wear more. So this is going to be for my repair square for Bingo. And then I'll have something that I'll love even more than I love it already. So it's the Riverside sweater. I've already said that, Riverside by Asita Krebs. And it's a really comfortable sweater. If you like fitted sweaters, this one actually is made with, mine was made with 3 to 4 inches of positive ease, but you can use less. It has the nice body shaping to it, which some people are really into, which is great. And I'm glad that I'm going to have a sweater that I'm going to be able to wear by repairing this sweater. Okay, now the last thing that I've been working on, I'm sure you'll know what it is. It's always one of the last things I talk about, is my counted cross stitch. And this is Day's End by Judy Gibson. And I've moved on to a new section. So look, I got all of those rocks down at the bottom. That's where my stitch counts were off. And if you ask me, it looks pretty darn good. So I'm working on this section over here, and this is where the circle will curve up, and then we'll just work our way around. So it's getting there for sure. It's getting really close to, well, not really close to finish, but I'm getting it done. So, because I work on it every Tuesday, like I said. So again, this is the Day's End by Judy Gibson, counted cross stitch. Okay, so that's all for my whips, works in progress. So let's move on to finished objects. Like I said at the beginning of the episode, when I was talking about my calendar, not many things have gotten done because of the new schedule of working on things. So I finished 2 things. The first one is Becky's Crochet Teddy by Rhea Ross. This is also going to the New Life Resource Center here in Hayward, Wisconsin, for them to give out with their quilts. And like I said, the August theme for the Bears group was stripes. So of course I had to make him with stripes. And this gold is from the little yarns that I'm using for my square bear, the ones that I won from the group. So just perfect. Again, this is Becky's Crochet Teddy by Rhea Ross. And the second thing that I finished is the Euhedral Dishcloth by Joyce Fassbender. This one was a Saturday social in the Knitting in the Loft group. Is one of the Saturday social projects. And actually, it's from November of 2024. So I'm a little bit behind on projects there, but that's fine. I mean, I work on them on Saturdays usually. It's part of my schedule. If I'm working on something during the day on a Saturday, it's one of the Saturday social projects, and then at night it's whatever is on my calendar. So here it is, the Euhedral Dishcloth. It's a fun lace pattern, super easy to do, super quick in this worsted weight yarn, and it will be great for washing dishes. That's what we're going to use it for. So again, that's the Euhedral Dishcloth by Joyce Fassbender, and I use Knit Picks Dishy in the Lilac Mist colorway. Okay, let's move on to knit-alongs. A lot of my knit-alongs are coming to an end soon. The Mama Jess Knits podcast group, she's having her summer sock knitting KAL. She asked that you knit adult socks, not little baby socks, and they can be shorties or, you know, long socks, or however you want to make them, as long as they're adult socks. They'll count in her knit-along. This one runs from May 24th to August 31st. So by the time this one comes out, you are going to have about 6 days to participate in that KAL. So unless you already have some socks that you started after May 24th, you're probably not going to make it into the end of the KAL. But maybe you're a super fast knitter, faster than me, and you can still do it. So I have faith in you. I'm rooting for you. The next knit along is the Project a Month KAL knit along. That one is every month they pick a free pattern to make together. And for August 2025, we chose the Stupid Easy Cable Hat by Shawl Pattern. That one has a lot more cables than the hats that I've been making for my friend. and it seems to be kind of a weird pattern. It's a free pattern, and there has been some discussion in the group. I have not made the pattern, so I do not know about it. You cast on a lot of stitches, too many for it to fit most heads around the ribbing area. So I don't know. Like I said, I know cabling can pull a hat in, but other than that, I don't know. I know that it's a free pattern on Ravelry, and we were making it in that group. Then there is the Knitting in the Loft group, and they're having their Simply Stranded 2025 Loft Summer Challenge and KAL. Simply Stranded is stranded color work that includes Fair Isle color work too. And that one runs from June 1st to September 1st. So again, you got about 7 days before the end of that knit along. And then we'll draw some winners if you have time. I mean that gives you time to make a pair of gloves or a hat, or you can make anything, any little thing with stranded color work and enter it by the end, and you'll get a certain number of entries for however many of the techniques that you've used. So you can just check out the group, the thread in the group. I'll have the link down in the show notes. And if you want to participate in that, then jump right in and do it. Just do it. And the way to gain entries is linked at the top of the thread. So you can get a lot of entries from just one project. So jump on over there and check it out. The next knit along that I'm participating in is the Yarniacs podcast group is having their annual Colors of Fall knit along. And this one runs from the June solstice, June 20th, to the September solstice on September 22nd. So this one has a little bit more time than the other ones that I've talked about. And when we say colors of fall, we're talking about the Pantone colors of the year. And we use all of the palettes from London and New York. And we use all the summer, winter, spring, and fall palettes, because different parts of the world, it's different parts of the season, different seasons in different parts of the world. So we want to make sure that everybody can make, well, I say we, but they want to make sure that everybody can be included in this knit along. And it's a knit along, crochet along, spin along, weave along, whatever kind of fiber arts that you like to do is what you can do for this one. So, and the last one that I'm participating in is Bingo from Craft, Cook, Read, Repeat, like I was talking about earlier with my repairing my sweater. Bingo is from May 23rd to September 1st. So again, it's coming up on the end of that. So you can get your bingo card and try to get a bingo. A lot of people read faster than me. For instance, the people on the podcast itself, I mean, they read so many books every episode that I'm like, okay, I've read that many books in a whole entire year. So they're super fast readers, a lot faster than I am. So, and it's crafting and cooking too. So cooking is a lot faster than either of the other two, in my opinion. So anyway, that's the Craft, Cook, Read, Repeat podcast group, and they're doing bingo. So let's move on to more out than in. I don't think I talked about this in the last episode, but my July numbers are in, and they're still good, even though I did bring in a skein of yarn last month. I sent out 1,245 yards, and I only brought in 460. So that's still more out than in. And my year to date is 13,474 yards out and 6,195 yards brought in. So I'm really happy with that. I have, like I said, I have the yarn festival coming up, and that gives me a nice cushion to still send more yarn out of my stash than what I bring into my stash. So that's the best that I've ever done in any year. So, and I think it's because of you guys. I'm putting it out there in the world, and even though you guys don't hold me to it, I feel accountable for setting more out than I bring in. So, okay, let's move on to my patterns. I'm still working on the new shawl. It's coming, the sample's coming along slow. At this point, it's almost September. I'm not sure if I'm going to have it out by December this year. So it may be December 2026 before I get that out. Unless I could, no, I'm not going to send it to tech editing, but before the sample's done, because then I can't get it test knitted until it's tech edited. So it's a really fun shawl. I'm using Leading Men Fiber Arts Show Steeler, which is their cashmere base. And I'm using the Bare Necessities, Krampus, and Poison Apple colorways. So, okay, so let's move on to gardening. For gardening today, I want to talk about my orchid again because it is blooming like crazy. Look at those beautiful flowers. So like I said in a previous podcast, this is an orchid that I bought in 2019. I was feeding it, watering it with ice once a week. And then I joined some orchid groups on Facebook and whatnot, and found that you're not supposed to water them with ice. They don't like that. Even though it would still bloom twice a year, apparently it didn't like it. So I put it all in my Planta app, which I've talked about in a previous episode. And now I water it with running cold water, and I fertilize it with special orchid fertilizer that I bought at my local big box store. And she is doing fantastic. This is probably the most blooms I've ever had on this orchid. I think there were 16 when they were all nice and open at the same time. You can see a couple of them are already wilting, but 16 is pretty good. It's a lot of flowers for one plant. So, all right. Well, I think that is all that I have for you today. So until next time, keep doing what you love. Bye.